this before.
Oh my god.
The hell are those?
Something new.
This disease, you must contain it.
The Strain is one of those horror shows that somehow flew under the radar despite having all the right ingredients. A legendary creator in Guillermo del Toro, a compelling mythology, a unique visual style, and a storyline that blended apocalyptic dread with classic monster horror. Based on the novel trilogy by del Toro and Chuck Hogan, the FX series premiered in 2014 and ran for 4 seasons, offering a distinctly grotesque and scientifically grounded take on vampirism. It's messy, ambitious, and at times deeply unsettling. And it's exactly what makes it stand out.
This is the Master's final solution. We're not the farmers. We're the livestock.
One of the biggest strengths of The Strain lies in its reinvention of the vampire mythos. These aren't suave, cape-wearing figures lurking in the shadows. These are ancient, parasitic organisms that use their hosts like meat puppets. The vampirism in The Strain is treated like a contagious disease, spread by worm-like parasites that infest and transform the body in horrific detail. It's creature feature meets epidemiology, and the result is a kind of horror that feels plausible in a terrifyingly biological way. The show doesn't just scare you, it makes you squirm.
I fear no one.
There are thousands of them down there.
Visually, The Strain is deeply rooted in Guillermo del Toro's signature grotesque style. The practical effects are revolting in the best possible way, with extended feeding tongues, pale decaying skin, and twitching transformations that make your skin crawl. The design of the Master, the ancient vampire antagonist, is pure nightmare fuel, towering, deformed, and oozing malevolence. Even the show's set design, lighting, and cinematography contribute to a suffocating atmosphere of decay and dread. The world always feels like it's teetering on the edge of complete collapse.
We're gonna need people like you.
It matters more than destroying the Master. What are you waiting for?
The cast also brings a lot to the table. David Bradley is a standout as Abraham Satrakian, a Holocaust survivor turned vampire hunter with a brutal past and unshakable resolve. He grounds the show in something deeply human, providing both emotional weight and a sense of tragic history. Kevin Durant's Vasily Fett, a street-smart exterminator turned action hero, is unexpectedly charming and often steals scenes with his grit and humor. And Rupert Penry Jones's Quinlan, a half-vampire warrior with the soul of a tragic poet, is a fan favorite, bringing quiet intensity and emotional depth to the later season. Another strength is how the show embraces its epic scale. Over the course of 4 seasons, The Strain transforms from a slow-burn outbreak thriller into a war for the soul of humanity. It touches on everything from government conspiracy to ancient mythology. The series never shies away from raising the stakes or leaning into big, operatic moments. Explosions, betrayals, battles in the shadows, and cities falling under vampiric control. There's something admirable about its willingness to go full apocalyptic while staying true to its horror roots. But as much as there is to love, The Strain isn't without its flaws. And those flaws are part of why it never quite achieved the recognition it deserved. Pacing is a frequent issue. Some seasons start off with a slow burn that feels too slow, dragging out character arcs and subplots that don't always justify their runtime. Corey Stoll's protagonist, Ephraim Goodweather, is written as the tortured genius archetype, but over time he becomes increasingly difficult to root for. His personal struggles and poor decisions often undercut the urgency of the plot, and by the final season, his arc feels more frustrating than fulfilling. The writing also stumbles occasionally when it tries to balance its scientific angle with melodrama. Some dialogue can feel clunky, and side characters come and go without satisfying conclusions. And while the show builds an impressive mythos, it sometimes forgets to let it breathe, throwing lore at the viewer without fully exploring it. The final season, while conclusive, feels rushed in parts and might leave some viewers wanting a little more emotional payoff. Still, when you weigh the highs against the lows, The Strain is a series that swung for the fences and landed more often than not. It dared to make vampires horrifying again, leaning into old-school terror while crafting a modern, apocalyptic narrative. It might not be perfect, but it is memorable, and in horror, that's often more important. If you're tired of romanticized vampires and want a horror series that treats them like the nightmarish monsters they were meant to be, The Strain is absolutely worth your time. Let me know what you thought of the show down in the comments. Favorite characters, most disturbing moments, or just your thoughts on that grotesque creature design. And if you're enjoying these horror deep dives, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more terrifying takes.
I have taken everything from him.